Alright guys, this is my press fixture for automatic transmission drums. Pretty simple construction. Hand built it, welded it together. It works. It's not the greatest. It's got a few bends and tweaks in it. It's not as strong as it should be, but it's doing the job. What you do is you take your drum, slide it in there, make sure the snap ring is away from these two guys. These will press down as you wind it down. Hey, you like the nice bend in it? I was doing things with it I shouldn't have been doing. So we just try to get it so it catches the edge with a good enough gap that you can still get the snap ring out. Like I said, it's not a store-bought tool, so it takes a little bit of finagling to get her down. And that's it. Just press her down. I hope you can see that. There. It's pressed down. I've got gap. I can pull out my snap ring now. With a screwdriver maybe. Yeah. That was easy. Now I just try to pop it out of place. And there we have it. Snap ring's out. Now we just release it. You got to pay a little bit of attention. That retainer will grab into the grooves that the snap ring was hanging out in, just because it can, I guess. But there we have it. Just pull it out gently. There's our retainer. There's our return springs. Now, so we count up our springs. We've got 10 in total, and you can see they're staggered around. I'll probably reference the video to put them back in the same location. You could take a black Sharpie and mark each hole where you got a snap ring out of. That could be easy. And then we just work our piston free, or not. So for that, we are going to use some compressed air. And I think we got to go into this hole right here. See if I can do this so you guys can see it happening. I'm just going to hold my hand over a little bit. And yep, she's popping out. That should do it. Pretty light and gentle. And when I put it back together, I'll use air just like that to check its operation. Make sure it sounds good. There it is. We don't got to fight it. So the lip seal is right down here in the bottom, and the outer lip seal is right there. We'll have to change them and pay attention to our orientation of the lip seal when we do. Alright, one more piece of the puzzle. Need a piece of 3.5 inch exhaust pipe, and you need 2 pieces of angle iron. That's about it. 1 piece of angle iron to the top, So it's just got to go over the sides of the exhaust pipe. And the other piece is to go on the underside of the case. Literally, I have to drill 2 holes and grab a piece of ready rod, and I'm ready to make this happen. Okay, so just a little hole in the center of both pieces of angle iron. That one's almost in the center. Piece of 3/8 ready rod, couple nuts, couple washers. Approximately there. Okay, I gotta give it about another inch, maybe 2 inches. I can always tighten it up after anyway. If I turn the case like this, in here, this ring with all the holes in it is our retainer plate. It also holds all the springs that return that piston, that release that piston. So what we're going to do is take our piece of exhaust pipe, which is about 1.5 inches thick. It doesn't have to be all that thick, but it does have to cover the top of this, so I would say at least 1.5 inches. You go 2 inches for safety. A little buffer zone, as it were. Put your threaded rod and your first piece of angle iron through, right down the middle of the hole. Grab it on the back side. And then your last 2 nuts and washers. I'm going to put a little bit of ATF on the washers. Give them a little bit of lubricant, basically, to allow them to be like kind of like a bearing. And just thread them on like that. Get some decent light in there. Be like this. Yeah, okay, I can deal with that. So now I just got to position it centered up. Alright. We're basically centered in there. I hope you guys can see it. It's kind of an odd angle. I made sure that the flat of my upper bar here is not covering the snap ring that retains that piece in. So now I just got to grab a couple of 9/16 wrenches and start tightening. Okay, try to give you a close-up. Right now it is just starting to compress, that ring with all the holes in it. And you don't have to go far. Like I said, just a couple turns, just enough to get the tension off the spring so we can pull the snap ring out. And look at that, I'm doing it literally with a stubby wrench on an angle, so it does not take a lot of pressure, and you don't want to bottom it out. You don't want to overstress the springs either. So these ones go to a finer point. They're a little bit harder to handle, but they get into places the other ones won't. The only improvements I would make to this tool would be to weld these 2 pieces together and maybe get a piece of 4-inch exhaust pipe or 4.5. Something a little bit bigger. But there it is. There's our snap ring. Boy, it's been a while since I took one of these apart. Oh, look at that. Completely forgot about that. They're tacked in. Alright. Even easier. Now, a little bit of compressed air goes a long way. Yeah, okay. So this guy was staked into the backside. Completely slipped my mind. Sorry guys. But it covers right here and it's staked in on the ends. You just got to knock one stake out and pop it out. Then you slide it back in, just dimple it over when you're done. But these 5 bolts here will allow, and I can't believe I forgot, but those bolts will drop out the center hub that my piston is hitting against. It's a different size. Again, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. Give me 2 shakes here, we'll get that guy popped out of there. Slightly embarrassing, but I'd rather do it and show you guys there's easy ways to just forget or mess up. And don't forget, I'm doing this without the use of a shop manual just yet. I'll use that on assembly, but right now this is all by memory, and frankly, obviously the memory's not that great. Now here goes. See, totally forgot about that guy. He is our one-way clutch, our sprag wear piece. Now, I should just be able to reach in and pull that drum out. There we go. Not as tedious if you remember all the steps. Well, that being said, this little spool valve comes out of here and it just directs some flow for the transmission fluid. It just sits up in there. And that's what the modulator valve screws in against. So he has to come out and go into a safe space so it doesn't get hurt. Now I'm going to pull this shaft out because the O-ring came off of it. We got to replace that O-ring anyway. That's our kickdown lever. And that's it. That transmission case is now ready for full cleaning, and I mean deep cleaning. Best is with a hot pressure washer, a degreaser, or a good detergent soap of some kind. I prefer a detergent soap because the degreasers can sometimes etch aluminum, and there's a lot of machine surfaces, so we don't really want that. But that being said, this little girl is ready to get cleaned up and then painted. So when it comes to if it'll really matter or not, what I'm going to do is I will go through the service manual and give you guys some specs on that. I don't want to leave you high and dry here. I don't want you to think, yeah, I can rebuild a C6 because I'm watching this guy's video and it turns out that I skip a bunch of things or don't tell you some parts about it, you know. I'm going to have a handful enough of doing that as it is just on reassembly, so I'd like to get it right the first time. If you guys got any questions at all, feel free to fire away. And that's where we're going to leave this little video here. Short and sweet, and just goes to show you don't need a high dollar shop or high dollar equipment to rebuild a transmission. David Digital Shopworks, thanks very much for watching and have a great night.